Hey there, it's Sarah, author, speaker, and advocate. I want to talk a little bit about the cycle of abuse. This is very important to recognize, particularly if you believe you're in a toxic situation with a partner who may be abusive. So the cycle of abuse was traditionally defined for only physical abuse, but it has since been expanded to include emotional and mental forms of abuse as well. And there are 4 distinct stages to this cycle. In stage 1, there's a buildup of stress and tension between the partners. So something upsets the abuser and the relationship becomes instantly strained. This person will either become passive-aggressive about their feelings or outwardly hateful and mean. Communication may also become especially difficult because the abuser may outright just withhold it from the victim, and the victim may be avoiding it as well for fear of inciting another argument. However, this is inevitable. There is going to be a confrontation. So because the tension builds and communication is strained, then the cycle moves to stage 2, and this is where the actual incident of abuse occurs. Like I mentioned, it can be physical. It can also be emotional or mental. There are many different forms of abuse, and regardless, the abuser's reaction is particularly hurtful and difficult to shake. Then they will ultimately apologize, moving the cycle into stage 3. So they will go out of their way to apologize to the victim, say that they're sorry, that it'll never happen again. During this stage, typically they will go out of their way to either spend more time with the victim or to buy them gifts, maybe take them out. A honeymoon phase will ensue in this stage of the cycle. So the victim believes that this will never happen again. They want to believe the abuser when they say this, and they think that, perhaps this person has changed. And this naturally then moves the cycle to the 4th and final stage, in which the victim feels especially at peace again. Everything's going great in the relationship, and both parties seem calm and content and happy to be together. However, this is always temporary. This never stays this way for very long, because the victim will again do something that the abuser finds offensive, and the cycle will repeat. And often this abusive cycle repeats over and over again for far too long, because the abused is manipulated into believing that the abuser will not do it again regardless of how many times it happens. They're just very good at apologizing for what they do and convincing the victim to stay. And then this is oftentimes complicated with symptoms of Stockholm Syndrome and battered women syndrome, which keep the victim in the relationship longer than is needed. It's important to recognize that abuse is never okay, and if you believe you are stuck in the cycle, you must get help immediately, okay? Reach out. There are resources available, confidential resources, to help you move past this. It's important to do this before something more detrimental happens. And I hope this was helpful, and understanding the cycle is helpful to recognize when it's time to leave. Have a great week. Thanks.